And welcome to the Groundhog Day edition of Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jake Living Pain, and when I'm sad, you are a clown. And when I get scared, you're always around. What do we do here for things you might not have heard? Well, today is February the 2nd, 2022, Groundhog Day, as I just said. And today we're going to give you 5 news stories that were posted in our news feeds. We'll explain more about how you get a chance to get your hands on those feeds. And that you told us that were pretty good to talk about. And we plucked out 5 of the stories of the about 32 stories posted in the last 28, 30 hours or so. We'll explain how that all works. But right now, the good thing you want to know is we're going to give you something to talk about throughout the day. Spoiler alert, we're open up really, really sad. And then we go to basically all football because we have to balance it out. It was kind of a rough go of news yesterday, as a lot of things happening going into February. So we're going to give you 5 things that are unique. They are not all necessarily top headline news, and obviously not all things that people who have not been living on the rocks don't know, but they're just things that we deem that were most conversational. Other things that you said were pretty conversational. A lot of double talk. So there's all that. If you want to help keep things going along here for this pretty program or all the things I do under a larger umbrella that is called More Better Media, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/jclevelandpain and pay for just a cup of coffee. For the price of a cup of coffee, you give donations to help things go well here. Of course, I can work on, better lights and better cameras and things that don't fade out when you pick up mugs of coffee. It's, you work on the budget that you have. But if you like what we're doing, let us know. If you also like what we're doing, just give us some feedback and we'll work on it. We've been doing this format for about 3 weeks, not quite 4 weeks yet. And we're getting lots and lots of feedback, a lot of it positive, a lot of it with good things to do. Not much of it is on the blasting level, which is really, really great. So thank you so much for all that. So without further ado, let's get into the news stories that we have for today, which are actually news stories we had for yesterday. First story is a very, very sad one. The headline we originally posted was "Officer Shot Suspect in Custody After Shooting at Virginia's Bridgewater College." What happened was 2 officers were shot, 2 officers were killed, and they were known on the campus as being really good friends. The dynamic duo, in fact, one named John, one named JJ, and John was JJ's best man at his wedding about a year ago. These are very good friends who took on the job of not just being security for a little college, but being police officers for a great institution. And the people at the college are definitely mourning the losses of their family there, and also their extended families of the actual officers extended there. The custody wasn't suspect. This thing will go to wherever it needs to go. But there's been a rash amount of violence towards college campuses lately, and the reasoning is not really stated. I'll go into more in a moment, but because the next story is essentially the same thing, but it's the violence that is going on around the world, around the nation, and especially on college type campuses is getting out of hand. Story number 2. Former UCLA lecturer appears to threaten mass shooting. LATimes.com had that one. And classes were shut down yesterday because of a threat. The threat came in the form of an 80-page manifesto from a former lecturer at UCLA. He was taken into custody late in the afternoon, early evening yesterday in Boulder, Colorado, where he actually resides now, because of just the nature of the just violence and just the words in the manifesto. 80 pages of hate against UCLA was put down yesterday. And that's not counting many other things going on. We I did not put into our listings, because there's so many things you do in there, a rash amounts of historically Black colleges, universities across the nation who have been receiving death threats to presidents and bomb threats to their campuses all across the nation. My very small, very tiny HBCU received the same thing, and I was surprised to come out of my office yesterday morning to see the dog sniffing around my building, around the library, because the threat came in. They had to check it. When these things happen, they have to check it. Most of these things turn into just wastes of resources because you have to check these things. But sometimes, like what happened at Bridgewater College, they turn into real issues and real things. So you have to be vigilant on that. Not sure what the actual current numbers is on like stats, full stats on how these things are going down across the nation. But anecdotally, they're happening a lot. And when they come close to home, when the police dogs are sniffing around your office to make sure that there's no bomb because some random crazy person thinks it's cool to call a bomb threat, I always ask, who are these people? It makes a difference. We're not going to go into any jokes right now. We're going to go into our first ad, and that is for Grammarly, the Grammarly service. Go to thisistheconversationproject.com/Grammarly and get a leg up on your writing skills, get a leg up on your communication skills. Whether you're just trying to write better letters to people that you know, better correspondence for people in your business, or if you're an academic who needs to make sure that your writing is good and you don't have all the time, energy, and the funds to hire out lots and lots of researchers and lots of editors, Grammarly will save you time and save you money. Now, stick with me for a second. I've been paying Grammarly full price for about 6-7 years, and it's one of those things that when I first got into doing more of these things like this, it was an expense that, since no money was coming in, I had to really justify going all full price into it and not just trying to use the free versions or the other versions out there as this technology was essentially coming to life. And this has been a lifesaver, a money saver, over and over again, worth double the cost of admission. But you don't have to pay double. In fact, you get a discount by going to our link at thisistheconversationproject.com/Grammarly. There's a discount on your early subscription, and we get a slight kickback for this affiliate link so that we take care of stuff. And it also means less coffee you have to buy for us. Because it comes down to it, it's all about me, essentially. Our next story, we're going to keep it very light and keep it all within football. Not sure how it happened, but it happened. First up, Detroit is supportive of Matthew Stafford as he tries to win the Super Bowl. He could never for the Lions. This coming from sports.yahoo.com. And yes, as I have been saying for the entire playoffs and a lot towards the end of the regular season, the Rams were always built to be a fairly good team. They just did not have the right person in the helmet of quarterback. They had a lot of young guys with young guns, but didn't have somebody with the stamina is not the word, but really it is the legacy, have a veteran knowing how to get things done. And it worked out that a lot of the young guys followed Matthew Stafford when he got there because he had a lot of talent. He's got the numbers to show it. He just played for a horrible team in Detroit that could never get it done. This first season out of Detroit into the Los Angeles for the Rams are going to a Super Bowl in their stadium. So, hey, Detroit is all backing up Matthew Stafford. The city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, might as well be California too, because they're all falling in love with LA and Matthew Stafford. They all got their eyes on the boy. The people are supporting the man that their team could not make happen. And with that, story number 4, the Bengals are actually the home team for the Super Bowl 51 in the Rams Stadium. So the Rams have the home field advantage because they have the home field, but they don't have home field advantage because they aren't technically the home team there. And that could have been a coin flip anyway. The Rams, the Super Bowl was picked 2-3 years ago to be at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles or Carson City or wherever the hell it actually is. And it just so happens that this is the second time ever and in a row that a home team plays at home. Although Tampa Bay last year, I believe, were the actual home team for the game. It just so happened this year, if the coin flip goes the way and it goes to the Cincinnati Bengals, so they get home field advantage for whatever that means. They will get to probably, I guess that means they don't get to yell the coin toss because they're the visiting team. But the Rams are playing in their house. They're staying in their houses. They are playing in their locker room. They have their fans are coming up the street as opposed to across the country to see the game. So for all practical purposes, let's call this a wash. Like I said, everybody's falling in love with the Bengals. And, Detroit's essentially being annexed into LA. So essentially everybody, it's there. The Rams are, I believe, a 4-point favorite at this time, something around that. The line probably won't change very much. But if you're a betting person, you have that to go with. We also want to make sure that you get plenty of things in little bits of time, and that means using something like Blinkist, the Blinkist app, which you can find at thisisaconversationproject.com/Blinkist. Get a discount on the trial version, which is a trial of the full version for a week of the full version, where you can listen to hundreds and hundreds of audiobooks in the form of blinks. Now, they're not the pure audiobooks. So if you're going to look for War and Peace, you don't have, 10 hours to listen to it. You're going to get what's called blinks. You're going to get what are detailed bits and pieces of the main points of the book. And you can either read them on your smart device, or you can listen to them as well. And most of them are about 15 minutes long. And there are books added every single day to cover all the wide range of self-help and autobiographies and things going on. They also have things called shortcasts, which are podcasts that you know and love as well, but they are broken down. So those two are less than what they were. Malcolm Gladwell podcast that runs 35 minutes will be cut down to about 20 minutes or less, depending on what the subtopic is, because they can edit it down to the main points of it and a lot less fluff and filler. And something that's really, really cool, if you're a person who has these apps for going to sleep, they have these stories that are not 15 minutes long. They are longer than 15 minutes long. They're meant to be long. They're also meant to sort of read you gently to sleep. So if you've not had a bedtime story read to you in a long time, Blinkist can do it. Check out thisisaconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is a conversationproject.com/Blinkist. You get a 7-day trial of the full app for free. And if you decide it's not the full app's for you, the free app gives you a book a day, but the full app gives you access to the entire catalog, and you will not be disappointed. And we of course get a slight kickback from this being an affiliate link, but you're not going to be disappointed. This is going to be something that's going to definitely raise your IQ and your EQ in the world. Finally, sticking with football and sticking with Tom Brady again. Yesterday was Monday, the day before was Sunday, the day before that was Saturday, and all day Saturday we dealt with Tom Brady retiring, then saying didn't retiring, then just saying that he was not happy. People said he was retiring. And then yesterday he retired. He officially called it quits. Tom Brady is officially out after 22 seasons. So no, NFL, you don't have Tom Brady to kick around anymore. Or maybe. Because in his retirement statement, he put something on Instagram, and in the talks that he gave, he left a little bit of window, just teeny tiny bit that who knows, Gronk may talk him back into it. Probably not, but who knows. So Tom Brady is done with football after 22 seasons and 2 teams, putting in a little bit of a jab of the Patriots for not keeping him for those final 3 seasons and, being Tom Brady. Now, this is a guy that gets to ride into the sunset and has a pretty good life. So I'm pretty sure that we all still wish we could be Tom Brady, even if he's not there on the football field, because trust me, there's plenty of other grand things in his life that he can crow and tout about. We also give a little bit of a tease of what's happening in the news, what we're going to be talking about soon. And this story is one that broke overnight, but we didn't post it into the feed. Actually, we're delaying posting it for a few hours so more people wake up, if you will. This will become more of a real conversational piece when people are out and about. So this is a story that we pulled from Yahoo News. That's the source we have. And this basically goes into detail about Whoopi Goldberg and the trials and tribulation that she is dealing with right now. Whoops. That's not supposed to happen. We'll see how it comes back. There we go. So Whoopi Goldberg has been suspended for 2 weeks from The View for her Holocaust remarks. Last week, there was some conversation about Miles, the graphic novel that depicts the Holocaust in the form of cats and mice as opposed to people. And she made a statement that said that the Holocaust had nothing to do about race. This is an extreme paraphrase, so bear with me here. But basically saying that race was not a motivating factor, was not the main push for the Holocaust, which had basically everyone on the stage with their clutching their pearls and looking for fainting couches. What happened was she apologized because she realized what she said wasn't very bright. She had on someone from the Anti-Defamation League to come on and discuss it out. She wrote an apology, like as in a letter, and said it on the air. And then after the show went off the air yesterday, the head of the network decided that because there's so much backlash coming from all sides, many in the news department weren't so happy with it, but many in the entertainment department were okay with the apology. Something had to be done, so she got a 2-week suspension. So she won't be on The View starting today for 2 weeks. What that means in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. If you guys decide that's a conversational topic that we want to get into, then please feel free to jump on it when that pops up into the feed. So how does popping into the feed work around here? It's pretty simple. It's a real easy for you to do most of the work that I need done to take care of this stuff. Now, what you do is you stop by our website. This is conversationproject.com and find out more information about what the Conversation Project actually is, what it does, what its point is, and some of its many, many lives over the span of about a decade. I think this thing's about a decade old. I'll have to check the stats again. Also, as we said, if you go to buymeacoffee.com/JClevelandPayne, as I clumsily reach for my coffee, you can help keep me caffeinated or uncaffeinated, because the cost of coffee is also the same about basic cost of water. And you can help keep the lights on by giving donations in the form of basically the cost of a cup of coffee, or call it a cup of tea, a bottle of water, call it a small rack of ribs. However you need to visualize giving a donation to the cause, I will understand. Now, this talk about the feed stuff. What we do is every day we post a news story on Facebook and Twitter in our feeds, and about every 50 minutes. And as people engage in them, they like them, they love them, they hate them, and share them, the score goes up. And then at the end of the day, or being in the morning, actually around 4:35 a.m. This time, Central Time, I pull the stats that were posted from that point to about midnight, a few hours before midnight the day before. So it covers about 28 to 30 hours in reality. And we take the stories, we put them in a spreadsheet that gives us a true number for weighing in how the responses go on Facebook and Twitter. Both of those have totally different lives. And we take the top 15 stories from that batch, and we look for 5 of them that are good to talk about. Today, it turned into all 5 football stories, mostly because we came off of a Sunday to Monday and getting ready for Super Bowl, and mostly because the 2 top stories that had to be talked about were so dark that we kind of wanted to make sure that we were lighten things up quite a bit going into the final stuff, and of course making sure that Tom Brady got his propers, because he wanted to properly say he retired. Follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Conversation Project. Yes, we changed the name. Follow us on Twitter at @th_conversation. That one's way too long, so we're not changing that name. But if you follow those feeds, you'll see what's going on. And if you're loving the music, then great. If you're hating it, it's not going away. This lyric today came from "I Got You, Babe" by Sonny and Cher, because it's Groundhog Day. If you want to offer up a teaser song for the show, reach out to me on the social medias at JClevelandPayne or th_conversation. We will look it up. We will see it. And I like everything. My main background, believe it or not, is 90s alternative. That's my big kick in radio, was 90s alternative. But of course, I'm a big guy in talk. Not a lot of talk guys can sing very well. So if you want some Pearl Jam, if you want some Stone Temple Pilots, drop it in there. If you want some Taylor Swift or some country, we can figure it out as well. For that and this makes it to the end of a show again. This has been Wednesday. Well, it's still Wednesday, February 22nd. It's actually the beginning of Wednesday. And this has been things you might have heard for this day. So go out there and enjoy your Groundhog Day. We'll find out which Phil or which General Lee or whatever they call those Sims are going to see their shadows, because sunrise is coming pretty soon. And then we're going to disbelieve it because they have nothing to do with it. In fact, Arkansas saw 69-degree high yesterday, and we're expecting ice and snow tomorrow, because we're Arkansas and climate change and whatever. With that, I bid you adieu. Make sure you follow the feeds, as it says at the bottom. And like one more time, buymeacoffee.com/JClevelandPayne. They say if you don't ask, you don't get. So help keep us caffeinated, keep the show going. Help me to get some actual full-time staff to work with this thing going on, so we can blow this thing up. Get a set instead of the corner of my living room where I have to be housed, because it's what we've got going on. Thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow.